Howdy all and welcome back to my channel. I'm Liam. Round 17 will be soon upon us if we know what the fixtures are, but they don't have much influence on who we're going to pick for our teams this week. A lot of teams will be coming to their end with final upgrades, so I hope to give you some decent insights on who to bring in, and then people like me who are pretty cash ridden, so there's a few underpriced options which I'll also be discussing in this video. My rank isn't the best at this very moment, but hopefully I can help some of you guys out, improve your ranks if you're in the top 1,000, top 5,000, wherever you are. At least I've done something for the year, help someone else. Not done very well for my team, but at least helps one of yous out for a good score. I'm happy. We're happy for you. So starting with the possible rookies that you want to bring in, it's very slim pickings. I think Garcia is a decent option for this week. 179. He got injured in his first game, in the first quarter. He did only play North last week, but he had a nice little higher forward role that I didn't mind. Scored 49. I don't see him scoring very highly, but he's probably the cheapest rookie by about 50k that's actually playing at the moment. And for me, rookies, I just want cash at this very moment. If you do have pretty decent rookie job security on your bench, wouldn't mind picking a guy like Garcia, who might not have the best job security, but someone who's just pretty cheap. You might even get mid forward status. I don't know whether probably hasn't played enough games, but still, it's 179k. What could go wrong? And hopefully fund you a decent upgrade to finish your team or help improve your team. Other options, there's a couple at 200k, but none of them are really speaking the world. Walker, Connolly. Connolly was a pretty popular pick last week. He's still an option. Handy defender mid status. A little bit of flexibility. If you need a defender, I would go him for a rookie. If you need a mid, I would go Garcia, but just wait on teams for all that. Walker's alright, but you want to save as much cash as possible. I would go Connolly, but if Connolly and Garcia aren't named, Walker's certainly an option to bring in, but don't expect the world from him. There's nothing else I'd be looking at on this list. It's pretty slim pickings. Any 300k guys, you don't want to pick these guys up this time of the season. I'll talk about Paddy Dow. I don't rate him at all. They said he played his best game. He scored 67. It's just he'll become I don't see him making more than another probably 50 to 100k. Not worth it. Not worth the trade at this time of the year. At all. These 400k is again not really worth a trade. Bringing in any of these guys. Mason Woods had a nice little role at the Saints. Lead up forward, takes a lot of marks up the ground. But if you're absolutely desperate, he's certainly an option along with Brad Hill. If he doesn't get tagged, he can certainly get to 100. Mid defender, handy DPP. But again, I'm just looking at very slim pickings here. It's no one that I'd really want in my side for the end of the year. But there's a couple with 500ks which I do like. DeGoey to start with, his role was locked the same as a couple of weeks ago after he was suspended with Harvey. Had a great role. Midfield, they love the ball in his hands. He's getting back in defence, getting some cheap kicks. bit pissed I can't get to him this week because I've got other issues with Matty Flynn. But he's a great option for this week. And I know that everyone will be looking at Dangerfield this week, but if you do fall short of Danger, De Goey isn't a bad compromise, I feel. I'll probably see him going 95 to 100 for the rest of the year if he sticks to that role and doesn't get injured. Another one like him, who we were all surprised is in a bit of form, is Jakey Stringer. He's in my team, so he's not on this player pool, but he's a very solid option. I'd like to go. He's probably rolled slightly more than Stringers, but I do see him averaging very similar numbers. And at 550k, if you get someone averaging 95 that you can keep for the end of the season, you take that and run. Another person who's averaging 95 and scored 95 last week is Matty Kennedy. Loves the tackle and got more of an inside role at Carlton now. And that mid-forward status is pretty handy. Again, if you can't get to De Goey or Stringer, Kennedy is certainly a cheaper option and probably gets within 5 of De Goey and Stringer and probably within 10 to 15 of F6. Forwards have been very slim picking this year, so bringing players like these guys aren't going to hinder your team if they do have an off game. I really do I feel like they're going to be one of the most popular traded in players this week. A different player who not many people would talk about as of yet is Zach Bailey, another forward option. He's an amazing player. He's gonna be a gun. Playing a little bit more midfield time, and now Neil's out for a couple of weeks. He becomes a nice little option. But again, De Goey, Kennedy, Stringer are my preferred options. But you have all them, good on you. And you probably wouldn't have a Aaron Hall, Zeeble, Kelly type players. So, but if you want to go against the grain, Zach Bailey is a solid option. In defence, Nick Newman. I don't rate him as a player at all, but he racks up these cheap kicks in the back line. I feel like he's solid at 5.95. He has just a knack of getting injured or just doing something to ruin teams. But in defence, he's probably the best option under 600k. Harms, I wouldn't touch. Ridley, I don't like his role at the moment. And Haynes, with believe Buckley's out, he might have to take a key forward, which hinders his scoring a bit too much for my liking. There's no one else that I would look at in this price bracket. The 600k defenders. Salem's hit it. Is after his injury, coming back with a little bit of form. I feel like 668 is a pretty decent price to pay for him. Melbourne love the ball in his hands. He loves a cheap kick. Great option if you're looking for a defender this week. Hearn loves a cheap kick. The ball's been down there so much as of late. West Coast's been playing absolutely horrendously. So he's been getting a lot of cheap stuff down there. And I feel like he's slightly underpriced because he had that injury game of 5. So the 670 is pretty decent to pay for him. Those are probably the top 2 that I'd like in that price range of the defender. These guys would be the people I'll be aiming for. Crisp, Main, Mills. I love Mills' role in the midfield. A bit sad that I didn't pick him up at the start of the year. That was a mistake. But he's along with Laird, top 2 mids for the year, the top 2 defenders for the year. Main, as I spoke about in the last 5 videos, he's just got one of the best roles in that back line for Collingwood. They love to chip it around. And I don't see him averaging under 100 for the rest of the year. another solid pick, along with Crisp. Play a bit more midfield, but loves a cheap kick here and there. But I'd probably go Mills and Land number 1 and 2, Whitfield number 3. Had a disappointing week this week, but I see him bouncing back. Main 4, Chris 5, and probably Hearn or Salem at 6. Or probably Stewart at 6. Hearn and Salem 7 and 8 would be my defender picks. On to the forwards. There's one man this week that everyone's talking about, and that's Paddy Dangerfield. If you can get to him, trade him in. I won't be able to. I'll be watching in sorrow each week. Hope he gets injured. But yeah, number 1 option this week. Most popular traded in for sure. He just back to his best, back to his mid-roll. He doesn't usually score one. He's usually more of a super coach player, but if he plays like he did the other night, far out. Scary system at 670, bargain. I probably wouldn't look at anyone else. Pendlebury at 620 is a solid pick, but I would prefer a DeGoey, Stringer, Kennedy type over him. Darcy, what a game! What a game! Last round. Provides handy little cover if a Grundy or a Gordon does get injured. But I'd prefer Dangerfield over him any day of the week. And Zorko, again, Dangerfield over him this week, but he's in the top 3 forward, that's for sure. Along with Kelly, along with Hall, along with Zeeble. Great options, but Dangerfield is the one for this week. And if you're not going Dangerfield, I'll go probably one of the DeGoey's DeGoey options. Midfield, just throw a blanket over all these. There's a blanket, a lot of them averaging this 125 over the last couple, averaging this 120 to 115. All of them had their little down patches. All of them have rounded up to be this about 115 to 120. It's going to be hard to pick for next year who we take. Who I like. I like Brisbane's run home. So Lions is up there with picks. Parrish has sold me. It's just hard. It's impossible to watch. Not having him on my side. Took Miller's another one, but 9.13. It's like far out. I would love to have the cash to get up to that, but I don't think I will ever be able to. Merritt, another one that's on fire. I'm happy to have him. Just anyone. It's hard. If you've got a 50-50, I try and with any of these, I try and give my best explanation, but it is very difficult to differentiate all these guys. I've tried picking a top 8, and it's just impossible. I've actually got for the run home. Lions 1, Parrish 2, Miller 3, Steele 4, McRae 5. Bont 6, Wines 7, Merritt 8. But far out. There's Tom Mitchell who's on fire. Keys hasn't done much wrong. Tarrant hasn't done anything wrong. So it is pretty much a blanket. So hopefully I've given you some decent advice for this round. Good luck with your trades, and I'll be back on Thursday previewing my trades and some captain options for this round, coming round 17. So till then, have a good one.